Right, I am the host now.
You are, mate.
Choc,
hello.
Good to see you,
Good
brother.
to see you,
Thanks
brother.
for coming down to Leeds today.
Anytime.
It's been a while since you've been on the pod.
I know, mate. I was just about to say, I don't think I've been on this since Ben took over.
Well, you're on an episode without Ben, so
I know,
you
shocker.
got extra lucky.
Hey, don't go.
Just
I know what
kidding.
you guys are like. You're gonna be, oh, what does that
That
mean?
was just a joke at our friend's expense there.
Of course it was.
We like to have fun here on
we
the
do.
channel.
That's all we do.
How
you been?
Why have you come up?
A couple of things. We've got in my opinion, a banger of the video of a video in the works that needed some voiceover work, some little beats.
That was fun to do.
Shoot some dummies. Drop off the slips for people.
The Patreon slips.
Yeah, we got them. It's a pain in the ass for us all to fucking get in one place to sign them. So it came to Chef.
So we've been preparing the Patreon care packages because they're just really late and no excuses. That's
No,
my
there's
bad.
not. It's just like it's just hard in it to get everyone. And you say, hey, you're free to come and sign this, and it's like not today. When you're free in a week. As soon as festival season ends, everyone's just like busy again.
Everyone's just gone in such different directions. If I look at my Find My now, I've got Bridie's in Portugal, Raz is in New York, Jake's in Greece, Mary's in York. Who else have we got? Who else are we friends with? Chris is in Preston.
Chris
Probably
is in
sat
Preston.
at home with his fingers up his ass.
Going somewhere that's not Wagamama's. I saw on his story. He posted somewhere that wasn't Wagamama's and went, oh, no way.
It's I'm doing pretty good at the minute. I've normally got really bad FOMO this time of year. I say normally, I've only had 1 year before where I've been like full-time channel. But when it got round to October last year, I was like, really
need to do something. What's going on?
And that's why me and Val's like did when we were young with like 1-2 days notice, and now like that would just be there's no way we would ever be able to do that now. Because everyone's doing their own thing. Yeah, which is all good. I've not felt too bad about it this year.
You've kept yourself busy. To be fair, you're keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, man. For sure.
I'm just like catching up with people and Chef, seeing and then seeing my daughter. Just getting ready for the dreaded Christmas. Which,
hey, it's coming
soon.
Mate,
I hate it because there's some nice things. Like town, I feel gets a bit nicer because everyone's out celebrating, getting hammered, and it's like I don't know because it's cold. Everyone's indoors, nice and warm, and then you get to see good mates. The issue is everywhere's rammed. Like you just go anywhere, you go for food. I were in Meadowhall. It's October in Meadowhall, right? Rammed. Can't even get in a Nando's. Queue up for 20 minutes to not even get into the Nando's. I was like, what the fuck's going on, man? Like, you got better things to do, and it's October. You don't need to be shopping this early for presents.
It is a killer. Last time I went to Meadowhall was with you when we went Christmas shopping.
We went Popeyes.
We did.
We went Popeyes.
And I bought the Supreme basketball hoop.
Yeah, I can remember.
Not from Popeyes.
That'd be a collab, wouldn't it? Hey, Supreme, we got one for you.
The Popeyes basketball.
The basketball at Popeyes.
If anyone watching this sees me checking my watch, by the way, it's not because I'm being impatient. It's because it's got the camera preview on.
So you're checking that we're in shot.
And it's not even that I'm checking that I'm in shot. I'm checking I've not accidentally stopped the recording.
Well, we just did a whole bit on these, didn't we? And there were no SIM card.
No SD card.
Something going wrong. Hey, I'm gonna have my buzzball. And anyone who watched Lee's, weren't it? We watched the Leeds Fest video. We had some buzz balls, and they were a game changer. And while we were in America with a video that's coming out soon, the Dusty Nation, we get some more. And I've had Rob's 2 buzz balls for the last a couple of months, 2 months.
Yeah, it'll be. It was Burning Man won it, so a month and a half.
Just sat in my fridge at my house.
Thanks, brother.
With your giant Budweiser as well that has like the spice in it.
Fuego, is it called? Or I just made that up. Yeah, probably. Like spicy kind of Budweiser.
So I already had my chocolate one, and this is the Lotta Colada. So it's like a pina colada. So give it a nice, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's probably past 5 o'clock here. No, it's not. It's
10 to 4.
Nowhere near.
Speaking of drinking, I'm really looking forward to something we don't get to do very often, you and I, which is we're going out on Friday.
We're going out for a special little treat.
Yeah, so we're off to see Blossoms on their Gary tour, and we've really come to like Blossoms over the last few years.
It's wild. I can think back to a time not too long ago. We kind of were haters. There was a time where we were watching, I think it was Anderson .Paak,
At Leeds Fest.
Yeah, and Blossoms came on and we went, boring, let's lay down.
Yeah.
We're like, who cares, man? They're no Arctic Monkeys. We were just so... And then, like, come to now, I fucking love them. I'd argue that I've had Blossoms on more than Arctic Monkeys at the moment.
For me, it was the Sefton Park pilot when the first gig after lockdown, it was the first gig after lockdown, done by Festival Republic in somewhere called Sefton Park in Liverpool. You could only go if you were from Liverpool, but Festival Republic, I literally begged in an email, like, we need to be there to show the world, our audience of 20,000 subscribers. Oh, is that the fire alarm going off?
Sounds like it.
It's gone off. Hey, that's what happens sometimes in the building. That's going to go off in a sec because the main one's gone off. Fucking hell. Oh, the main one's come back on. You don't have to evacuate.
I know. I was just doing that. I was like, is this one going to come on in a sec?
No, this one won't come on. If it starts getting really warm and smoky, then we'll wrap up the pod.
I'll put the cigarette out.
Collect our things.
But God, that's so annoying.
That is pretty annoying.
I wonder what's caused that.
It's always just bollocks as well.
I remember once we were here and someone burnt toast on one of the floors and we were stood outside and we had to wait while they like cornered it off. And then the guy even confirmed, someone just burnt some food or some toast.
Yeah.
And then still had to wait outside because they were like, we need to check that it's just there.
Yeah, that was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were outside. It was
pretty
intense.
intense.
Fucking cold.
But yeah, Sefton Park was like the first gig back after lockdown, and that's when. Because the problem with me is I'm like super dismissive of I mean, people know this, right? I know what I like, and I don't really veer outside of my comfort zone.
You don't normally try to
my detriment.
Yeah.
And I do try when it's a video, like, we'll try and Heartbreak, we really tried and successfully bought into the bands there, and I do like going outside of my comfort zone for a video, but in terms of general personal life, I know what I like and I want that. I want Wingstop every night. I'm pretty basic in that regard.
God, I wish I never took you to Wingstop, man. It's such such a curse now because mate, I know for a fact if you're like
thousands probably at Wingstop.
If you go, I'm hungry, I know there's a high probability Wingstop is getting ordered.
I'll have one tonight for sure. But I like what I like, and I don't really, I'm not trying to discover new things that often unless it's for the sake of a video. So, but when I watched Blossoms at Sefton Park, it was like, right, this is a really important moment in my life because I'm back at a gig after 2 years, and Blossoms are soundtracking it. So they were ultimately they got like the pass for me, and then I was like, oh, actually, these are some really fucking good songs. And then they released like an album of that Sefton Park record. And then the latest album, Gary. Really, really good. Number one.
Yeah, great album.
30 minutes long, nice and easy to listen to.
You know what? When we got back from Malta and we were shattered because the original plan was to stay out as late as possible and then just go back to the hotel, grab the bags, go to the airport, sleep on the flight. But because the music was shit, we ended up going back sleeping for like 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, it was rough, wasn't it?
And then because of that, our bodies were like, you've had no sleep. You've had like you've started doing that where your body's trying to come in with a hangover of like, well, now you're gonna feel like shit. Now you're gonna feel sick. So we were tired as fuck, and the only thing that got me through being at the airport and on the flight until I fell asleep was listening to the Gary album about fucking 3 times. Just listening to it, I was like, if I don't listen to this, I'm literally gonna fucking go to the toilet and throw up. I was like, I gotta listen to this, and I was like, I love this album.
Where was it when you did throw up on the toilet, on the plane, and someone like called you out or like sent a message to their bird about you or something?
I can't remember. So Mary was on that flight. Raz were on that flight. Where were we?
Was it going to? It was
coming back from somewhere.
Coming back from Sigurd?
Yes, it would have been. It would have been because I was dripping
just before Leeds.
Yeah, I was dripping with sweat and I was so unwell. I can remember everything was fine. Got on the thing and I was like, oh man, I don't feel great. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the toilet. Went to the toilet, just sweating. Came back. I was like, I need to go to the toilet again. Went to the toilet as soon as I got there, just instantly. And I'm never normally sick ever.
This
Not
is
from
on
drinking.
the plane.
Yeah. And I was just so unwell. And then I can remember being in the back of Raz's van, just proper sweating out and going like, God.
But didn't like so when you got back from the toilet, you didn't they?
Yes, no, that was it. So there was two sisters who sat next to me, and it was weird because I was in the middle of them. So I originally, when I sat on that flight, I said, "Oh, do you two want to sit together?" And I was like, "I'll have the aisle or the window," and they were like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, so you've obviously booked separately to be like, you wanted the window, you want the aisle, so I'm in the middle." And then when I wasn't feeling great, I was like constantly trying to just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, can I just go to the toilet?" And they were just like,
God, that's got to be like anxiety inducing.
Yeah. And at one point, I'd just came back, sat down, and I was like, "I'm gonna throw up. I know I'm gonna throw up. I need to get through." So I look over to the left, and one of the sisters got like headphones on iPad, and I was like, "Excuse me, sorry." And I was like, "I don't want to have to, but so I had to like touch her. Keep in mind, I'm clammy as fuck." And she was like, "What?" I was like, "So I need to go to the toilet again." She went, and then when we got off the plane and we were coming out of the airport, she was in front and she was just like slagging me off, essentially saying, "That fucking guy just fucking kept going to the toilet, touched me with his clammy hands," and I was just like,
I do get that it's annoying to be disrupted, like if someone else wants to go to the toilet, but they were given an opportunity. You gave them an opportunity. I mean, I get
like they've paid for those.
I guess, yeah. I can see both sides of it, but either way, like if anyone that's in the scenario where they're feeling like that, you're gonna need to go to the toilet.
But this is the other thing: is like, let's just say I needed just to go for a piss, which the first time I did. Like you're always gonna have that, or it's the same. Like you get on a flight, there's a baby or a toddler on it. What are the odds they're gonna cry on it? It's like you've got no control over that once you. So just
it's
get on
one of the
it.
Guarantees in life.
Anyway, we were talking about Blossoms.
So we're off to see Blossoms on Friday,
and then we love them now.
And then we'll be they've soundtracked many a good time, and then we'll be going out.
Yeah, we're going out
Leeds Friday night.
New favorite Neon Cactus.
Yeah, I love Neon Cactus.
You took me, so we went out with Mary fucking ages ago, and you both had like two. You went, "I want you to come to Neon Cactus," and Mary wanted us to go to Viaduct.
Yes.
And I was like, "Look, I ain't been to either. I'm open. Take me." Mary took us to Viaduct. Sadly, it was like karaoke night. It were rammed. It was like, I was like, "Oh, it seems nice in here," but like,
Mary is like sponsored by that place.
She loves it, but she was like, "No, it's just a real bad night tonight, but normally it's great." And
every time that she drags me in there, she's like, "Oh, it's normally good." I've never fucking had a good time in there.
From when I went in, I was like, I think I could have a fucking funny night in there, and I think I'd have a good laugh. So I said to her, "We'll go again." But then you went, "Oh no, check out Neon Cactus. Music is like chef's kiss. Staff are great." Went in, man. I didn't want to leave. I think Mary did leave at one point, but I was like, "This is great. We were just going off. I'll get hammered. Good. Tequila. I hate tequila, but we're having a great time sipping that tequila."
Let's go. Hey, pause for 1 second. My watch is down.
Oh, just double checking. We're cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. It's been I've been going out every weekend to be fair since festival season, and it's been nice. It has been nice just reconnecting with the real world and diversifying who I'm hanging out with.
It's absolutely like it's a nice bit of nostalgia being like, "Oh, I remember just coming for a pint and having a chat with so and so a couple of months ago," and
it's good.
I think we take it for granted during festival season because we are just so busy.
Yeah,
I always have to say like to people if I miss their birthdays and stuff, I'm like, I'm sorry, like, but we are like go.
Yeah,
and then when I'm not doing that, I also have my daughter. So I was like, there's
a lot to stay on top of.
Yeah, and it's like, and also we're older now, so it's not like everyone's always free on a weekend. And sometimes you're free just on a 1 weekday, and then people are working, people are busy. So
yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
It's nice at the moment being able to be like, yes, I just went to a friend's birthday, Michael, who did a shit shirt night.
Yeah, I'd like to have gone to that. It looked funny.
Well, the thing is,
because it wasn't normally when people say shit shirts, it's like it's slightly
Paisley shirt.
Like just but like this was like screen printed t-shirts, shit shirts. Yeah, which is a better concept.
We had some funny ones there, and it was a good laugh. I think the only issue was So he invited loads of people, and then he was surprised when loads of people showed up. So the first pub we were in, he was just like, "Oh, we're a bit cramped up here." And I thought, "Well, you did just fucking invite over 30 people. You're gonna have 30 people in a space. It's gonna be." But it was a good night, and I'm just looking forward to doing more of that. I'm looking forward to, for once, Halloween. Normally, I just like it's just people dressed up and you just go out and get hammered. I think I'm looking forward just to going out with all that Sheffield lot. And then...
Was it Halloween when we did the onion thing?
I know, that was my birthday.
Was it?
The Shrek themed
God,
birthday.
that was so funny.
So for people who don't know...
which is everyone.
Oh, it will be pretty much everyone. I don't think
we didn't vlog it, so no one knows about the onion.
So a couple of years ago for my birthday, this ties into the tweet Rob put out saying, Choccy just met Paulo Nutini and shouted, "Oi, Pablo." So it ties into that, if you know that.
The same night.
So I decided... I wanted to have a Shrek-themed party, and I was looking for places to book. Couldn't book anywhere, so I said, "Fuck it, we'll do a bar crawl." So everyone comes and they bring the A game. I was like, we've got some little prizes for people who's best dressed and stuff.
Oh, fucking hell!
And we had nearly everyone. I know a couple of the boys were busy, like Raz was busy. What do you call him? Jake was busy, but I know you and Dan came. I think everyone else were busy. And we just went on a little bar crawl, but we got hammered. I think I don't know if we were doing it, but I had cards where whenever you wanted to order a drink, you had to come to me and I gave you a card.
You did.
And whatever card you drew is what you had. And there was like 2 double vodka lemonades or it'd be like a pint of Guinness, things like that. Some genius in our friendship group brought some onions because they were like, "Oh, Shrek, he eats onions. Ha ha ha." And we're in a place called Lane 7.
He doesn't even eat onions. He just mentions onions.
He says ogres have layers like onions, don't they? But I mean, he
probably eats them as well. He's only ogre, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only ogre. But we're throwing ourselves under the bus here. We're in Lane 7, and we're very hammered. And someone says with the onion, it'd be funny to bowl him in the ski ball machine.
I think it was me.
And I was hammered. And I said, "Yeah," just took him. And
it was the perfect size because it was big onion.
Yeah. I can't remember how many there were. There was a couple, so we just were taking it in turns, bowl, and they were just going up into the machine, and then they were stuck in there, and we laughed so hard.
Oh, it was because you'd see like the onion in the
like,
little ball chamber, as
had a bit of glass in it.
So you could see like the balls. So like you put your money in and you're gonna get your balls to play with, but then someone was gonna get 2 onions.
I can remember it being like, "Oh, I'd love to just go back in like a week and see if they're still there." And I think I did, and I think they were still there.
Don't surprise me.
But
it's interesting that party would come up naturally in conversation because I was just. Well, I've got a 200 quid Amazon gift card, right?
Oh, a big spender.
And it's burning a hole in my pocket.
Yeah.
And what I need to do is I need to be smart because I need to buy something with it on Amazon that I can't buy as a justifiably business expense, right? Because all I buy on Amazon is like tech stuff, which all comes off the company card.
Absolutely.
So for this gift card, I'm not going to buy something for the channel, obviously, because it's my personal gift card. But there's just nothing I want on Amazon at all. I was like, shall I get some weights and try and get like a bit more in shape, get rid of my beer belly? I was like, oh, I can't. I'll just give up on that.
I did that and then gave up on it.
Yeah, like I'm totally happy. And then just I feel great. I feel healthy.
The weights now are used for cat tree support, so the cat tree don't fall over.
It's a great idea. It was more of a just a now I've got some time, like, shall I just set myself a little challenge? But no. And then I was like, well, Amazon doesn't sell any of the clothes that I like. I was like, shall I just buy 200 quid worth of noodles and sweets and crisps? I was like, that seems like a waste because then I'll figure out something on it. Anyway, I was looking through my entire Amazon order history back to 2008. And in the order history, I found a Pinocchio costume. And I was like, I know I've bought that. I can remember certain aspects to it. I can remember it being too small for me when I wore it. But why the fuck did I buy that? And it was for the
Shrek.
It was for that.
Yeah,
and I wore it for the it for the Shrek party.
You wore it for the Shrek party. Dan came as one of the 3 blind mice. I was Shrek. I had the silicone fingers and the and it was a great. You know what?
Dan looked great. As
it was
as the blind
arguably
mouse.
one of the. So most people, when you do a themed party, you got to have half people put in maximum effort and half people put in zero effort. They'll either go like, "Oh, I've put this together," or "I just bought this," and or you have people who go like, there's a 40, 50 pounds outfit on Amazon and I need to get the extras.
Yeah.
That was one of the few where 90% of people did like the maximum percent.
Oh, I'm remembering more and more now.
Yeah.
I remember we were in Washington outside.
We were in Washington. We had the big group pick. Hawley, one of the first times we met Hawley, he was in the inflatable pig costume. He became really unwell and went home.
Yeah, he was. And someone rocked up. It might have been our mate Ali.
Oh, yeah, Ugly Stepsister.
No.
Oh, yeah, well, if they've seen the I Monkeys TikTok from a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But, it might have been him. It might have been someone else. But everyone looked great.
Ali looked, he was one of the Ugly Stepsisters. And, he was the Ugly Stepsister and he was great. I think he ended up winning the best costume. Ben came as Thingy who sings Smash Mouth.
Yeah, Ben. Oh, yeah, Ben came as Steve from Smash Mouth. Yeah,
which is funny because now he got kicked out of his band, didn't he?
And may he rest in peace.
But there was someone else but it was just good because everyone dressed to the nines in it, and I always appreciate when people put that maximum effort, and everyone does. It looks better because everyone's having a better time. Everyone's having more laughs, more.
I do enjoy a good fancy dress,
and you know what we normally do for the last 3-4 years, I do the Christmas party.
Yeah.
And that always has a theme, and you'll be pleasantly surprised to find out the theme. Oh, I think I told you when we were in Malta.
Isn't it like 90s cartoons or something?
Close. It's Cartoon Network, because Cartoon Network is closing down, apparently. Shutting down, end of an era. So I think the Christmas party is going to be everyone's in Cartoon Network.
I'm already thinking of some.
Yeah, and I
definitely know what show I'll pick from. I'll give you no spoilers. Yeah. It's always good It's always good to get everyone together.
we've got that to look forward to. But for Halloween, because I think we agree that Halloween is kind of just like you're just going out and getting hammered as usual. But
yeah, I absolutely don't buy into any of the like spooky or like I know
there was
some people like swear by it, don't they? Like,
there was a time where I was like, oh, I'd just love to do not like a haunted gimmicky house, but I'd love just to go to somewhere that has all these rumors of it being like fucked and cursed or whatever, and just take the piss. Get
Taco
a Ouija
Bell in
board.
Barnsley.
Yeah. Well, there's one in Sheffield across the place called Central Quay Student Accommodation. It's like an abandoned like printing factory. I can remember a couple of years ago, I just went in there at like 6 p.m. just to be like, oh, it's a bit run down and creepy in here, and then just left. There were no reason for it. It's not haunted or out, but
I think that's where real creepiness lies, in the places that aren't marketed.
Yeah, you might find like not a scary like ghost or something, but you might find like fucking homeless guy with a knife. You know what I mean?
Like there's a great it's like an old Reddit kind of like tale, but it's corroborated with photos and stuff. And it's like there's like a motorway somewhere in England, and there's a footbridge across it, like a concrete footbridge from like the 80s or whatever. And there's a way that you can like get inside the concrete structure of the bridge. And so some lads like got in it and found. That was a loud noise.
I thought that was coming from roof.
Jesus,
what's going on?
And anyway, someone's got like inside this bridge where there's like some kind of really like just scary, creepy stuff. Someone's been in there. There's a chair there. There's like pictures of people on the wall with their face crossed out. Like really creepy shit like that you stumble upon. Stuff like scare rooms and haunted by design just doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not really into horror in any way.
See, it's such a double-ended blade, this for me. So I love horror, and I love like gory films and shit like that. I think are class, because I'm just like, it's just not scary, but it's like, oh, a bit of fucking head chopping off and eyeballs getting drilled out. But I am an absolute bitch ass when it comes to jump scares. I think jump scares
are cheap, man.
Are cheap, but like, because 90% of any modern horror. So, for example, like, did you ever play Dead Space?
I didn't.
So Dead Space, 10 out of 10 game. brilliant. Love it.
Amazing.
Atmosphere. It's got everything.
Yeah.
And it has jump scares in it, but they don't feel cheap because it's got the package of the atmosphere, the setting, the story, the characters, and also you've come across these things a million times, so you should have a bit of a wide head of, I'm not scared of it anymore, but you still are. While compared to, there's so many other fucking horror games and movies where they will just do a thing where there's like a string orchestra going on, and then all of a sudden it pans the camera. Nothing there. So then the music cuts and the character's like looking, and then they turn back and it's right in your face, super loud.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck off, man. I remember seeing as a man who doesn't watch movies, you're gonna be no help here. There's a movie, I think it was called Sinister. There's a movie about this creepy demon thing where you film. Well, he's in like videos and he gets the kids, helps possess the kids to kill the parents or whatever. There's a couple of jump scares in it, and I can remember years ago, me, a couple of mates, and my girlfriend at the time went to watch it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I love horror." Knowing full well, I was like, "If there's any jump scares in this, I'm gonna squeal." And there were loads, and it got to the point where I went to the toilet and I literally was splashing water on my face. I was like, just fucking get over it, man. It's just like, it's a movie. God. I was like, it's just a movie. Because I like popcorn, and I was doing that where I was like jolting. Yeah. So I was like, it's just a movie. Get over it. Open the door to come back in, walk. I had to go up the stairs. So I went up the stairs, and I just so happened to like turn to look at the projection of the screen. At the exact moment, there was a big jump scare, and I literally fell like the next step up.
The horror turned into a comedy for everyone.
And I was just cinema. Like, man, fuck this. So now I'll watch those horror movies, but I watch them on TV, because then I have the power of like, when it's like
really got the big TV, mate.
Yeah, but when it's like it's getting a bit, I'll just turn it down by like 5. I'll be like, not scary
problem
now.
Solved.
But I love it. I think the issue is with horror. So much of it's cheap, and you really have to buy into like these things. I think the best type of horror is the shit where you're really unsure of. Instead of it being like this is Jason, he's Crystal Lake or whatever, or or Chucky. My dad,
psychological thriller is the word.
My favorite is Alien, because even though there's just one alien, the atmosphere, the tension of like, well, you don't know where it is and stuff, and it's picking.
Wait till the second one, mate. Aliens. There's more than one. Then
Don't talk about Alien versus Predator though. That one's shit. But I love it. The scariest thing to me is a face hugger, because it's a bit like a spider.
I've never seen it, mate. I've never seen it.
Well, you'd hate it.
I know what it is,
because it looks like a spider, a weird ass spider with this tail, and it just pounces. So you know how we don't like spiders, and we, as two men, I'm Mary, who don't like spiders. You always imagine that it's just for whatever reason gonna just run and jump at you, and that shit you up.
Awful.
Yeah. So it's just that personified, but alien form. So I'm like, nah, fuck it, can't be arsed. And and speaking of that, my dad, from the few times I can remember these things, my dad used to have a Chucky life replica doll that his friend got him. Now, when I used to go to my dad's, my room was just like a spare room. So it weren't like filled up with stuff for me. It was filled up with whatever my dad put in there. He would put this Chucky doll there, and when I stayed, because he knew it used to freak me out, he would, when I was asleep, move it slightly.
Oh, what a knobhead.
And he did it for about 2 years, and there were one time where I rolled over in the morning, I woke up, and he had placed it like next to me with one hand out and the other one holding a knife.
Child abuse.
And I screamed, and I called my mum on the phone, and I can remember like...
Child abuse is a stretch, but it's rough.
Yeah, it was rough. And like now, I'm fine with Chucky. I see him, and I think it... Because you look at him, and
you get often what's the word? What the fuck word am I looking for there?
I don't know.
People call you Chucky quite a lot.
No, you know what? We need to address this. People call me Chucky, Chunks, Chaku, Cheeky. It's Choccy, CHOCCY. Choccy, like chocolate, or Choccy milk, like the tattoo.
Let's get
it straight for the few of you who have stuck with us this long.
Yeah, we do get a lot of YouTube comments that say Chuck.
Chucky's the normal one, like Chucky from not even like the horror thing, but like Rugrats.
Yeah, or
like
just wrong, innit?
Yeah. I was going to get a shirt that said, it's not Chuck, it's not Chucky, it's Choccy.
Good idea. Maybe we should do that for our upcoming trip.
We'll get that. I'll get that as a new tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. The YouTube comments are something that I spend a lot of time on the YouTube comments. I mean, it's part of my main job in the season when we're releasing videos. Obviously, we're probably going to run for a full month here without releasing a video, which gives me no pleasure.
It gives none of us no pleasure, but at the same time, can't do anything.
No, and we're working on stuff, and it'll be worth the wait, I promise. Last year it wasn't, and I promise you it will be this year. But I do stay close to the YouTube comments. A couple of comments recently. I was really dismissive of Ben trying to save money last week in the pod or the week before, and I just came across like a bit of a dick in that. Because I was like...
Bit of a pretentious...
Well, I went to Coachella. I didn't save any money. So sorry if I came across wrong there. What I was trying to explain, and I did reply to this comment on YouTube, was I look at it like the Kevin Smith story. I use this story for inspiration quite a lot. And it inspired me in many points in my life. But Kevin Smith, the film director, made some really silly financial decisions which led to him becoming a successful filmmaker. Yeah. And it could have gone either way. And that's kind of like what we did with a lot of our personal money when this channel was coming up. Instead of saving, I'm not saying don't save, because you should save, and savings are an important part of life. You don't want to take any financial advice from me. But we pissed all our money away. We spent it going to Coachella. We spent it doing Route 66. I'm not saying that's a martyr, but that's what I was trying to articulate, and I just didn't do a very good job. I was like, shouldn't be saving. Yeah, you should be saving. Do whatever makes you happy.
I think that's the main thing is like, saving's great. Saving does what it's supposed to, saving's smart. However, you save, you're not taking any gambles, so you're not going to get that payoff.
And I didn't want to come across as like...
But look at it, like
as rude,
the way even if it did come off rude.
I probably didn't, but I do respect the opinions in the comments, and so I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Well, they're now acknowledged, but I just want to say, like, fuck it. In the end, it all works out, eh? Hey, it all works out.
It sure did. For now. Touch wood.
God, there's so many times I think, and I know a lot of people who just, they can be a diehard fan. They can be just like someone who watches the odd one a year, but they won't know that a lot of the shit we do is always a gamble. It's always we discuss it. There's always there's loads of back and forth of like, what about this? What about that? I know Burning Man was, even before it was even booked or anything, it was like, we think this would be great to do, and we think we could make a good video. We don't know if spending that money, booking that time, getting that group of people and all that, it's all going to play out. And a lot of the time, we have to just take that gamble. And there's been some times, I think, in the last 3, could even be more years, where we've taken similar gambles, maybe not as big, where sometimes it doesn't play out, sometimes it doesn't do what we were expecting.
For sure. But we're really blessed in the way that when we take those gambles, the worst case scenario is we still are lucky enough to have a great... So like Tomorrowland Winter... cost thousands and thousands
Looking
of pounds.
back on it, it was
the vid, I hope is good. I think the vid's funny. I like the vid.
But we expected
it wasn't Tomorrowland 2.
Yeah, we wanted Tomorrowland
Diet.
Yeah, we wanted Tomorrowland. It weren't even Diet. It was like just tomorrow. It weren't even the land.
Yeah.
It was like, so there were...
But then...
We had a great time.
We still had an amazing bunch of memories. We're so lucky, aren't we?
We got the dumb Haunted Bibliothèque.
We did, which is now out on Spotify. If you
listen to it,
want to listen to it, Bibliothèque.
Do you know what's funny? My mum said, "Oh, for merch, you should do a 100 vinyl presses of it." And I was like, "I think we'd be lucky to flip 5 of them."
I think we'd shift 100.
I'm not sure, because we love it.
I've looked into this. I've looked into vinyl pressing, and maybe someone can reach out if they're in the industry or have their own pressing or something. But I've wanted to do a vinyl for years.
Of all our classic songs.
Yeah, or just a double-sided 7-inch with like Captain Crease on one end, and I've mocked up the cover art, and I'm essentially ready to go on it. And I'm confident we could shift. I'm confident we wouldn't be looking to make a profit on this. Probably.
Probably.
unless it, because
there was a
vinyl's expensive, so we don't want to rip someone off. But I'd love to do it if there was any market out there. I'm certain we'd shift 50.
I'd love to do. I know you've got the band, but I'd love to do like an album for it of just all either the songs from over the years that have we've made, and then just put it on there and just like release it. And I think it'd be so funny. One of them that
music is my biggest creative itch that I'm not scratching.
You're the guy who's in a band who's not in a band. Like you've got your lifestyle, your personality, your talent, all slot so well.
I know. I mean, I wish
we're being in a band, but you've got like two other people in our group that play instruments.
Yeah, and I'm so not interested in being in a band with someone who I'm not already like best mates with.
Yeah,
or at least someone I don't already know. I need to already have a rapport with you.
You need to at least know, I can talk to this person. And it'd be shit to be in a band and then any creative ideas or any criticism, you don't feel confident to say it because you're not close to someone.
The thing is, like, this is firmly on me, but I really would love to sort it out. And I've got loads of talented friends, like my mate Liam McNaught, who I'm pretty sure he plays with, is it Dinosaur Pileup? But we floated before. Hello, Liam, if you're listening.
Hi, Liam.
Like he'll know like all the Biffy songs on guitar. Yeah. There's another gent, I forget his name, but someone who like I've crossed paths with a few times, who like we almost arranged like going to a studio to just jam Biffy. And I'd love to do that. Like and that's what I mean. Like people I already know like that I'm cool with. But what I don't want to do is like go to a studio with a load of people who.
This is so and so.
Because also, I would also not be available like most of the time.
It would be. You couldn't commit to being a touring band. You could maybe commit to at the end of festival season. Oh, we do a show. We do like if it merged that well. I'd love to.
Like me and Raz are a good team in the studio. Like Raz is really good at producing, at least in terms of like not to diss Raz, but like I see him as like a legitimately good producer. He knows what to do and he knows like where to advise. And he can program the programmable instruments, and I can play the guitar to a mid to decent level sometimes on a good day.
Even better.
I mean the drums would get programmed, and I'd love to do it. And Raz is up for it. Whenever we say like let's do it, he's like let's do it, but we just never do it.
No, you know what? You're missing that. It needs to not be planned. It needs to be spontaneous, like the bibliothèque. That was just dumb just before going to sleep.
Well, the thing with that is that's just AI, isn't it?
No, but what I'm saying is like. It's like when you look at it,
we did
everything
Death Express. Death Express is. I'm sorry, it's a fucking banger. It rips hard.
Is it as good as Ring a Ding Ding? I'm not
sure. They haven't heard Ring a Ding Ding.
You know what? Yeah, here's a fun fact. There's a secret song that no one other than me and Rob know, and maybe once a month we'll flow it to each other where one of us will start it. Whether it's a voice note, whether it's in person, and it will be in my head for the next 4 weeks. It's always there. I woke up when was it? I woke up. You sent me a voice note of it not too long ago where you just went ring a ding ding.
Yeah. Don't give him the
that's
any more of the lyrics.
But I fell asleep and I can remember dreaming that we were in a pub. And somehow we got every single person in that pub to sing the lyrics with us.
Oh, they would.
And then we all cheersed at the same time. And it was Christmas. And then I woke up and I went, maybe one day, maybe one day we'll be on the radio. Everyone knows ring a ding ding, But I'd get what you mean with the Death Express because it is class. It's not just like good. It's funnily good.
And we are. That's the thing. Like I'm a really self-conscious musician, if you can use that word.
Nitpicker is what I would say.
I think it's a different thing. I'll know what I want.
Yeah, but when you do it, you'll always go again. Freak. Yeah.
But also, like, I'd be too self-conscious. Like, here's some lyrics I've written, guys. So when we do something like Death Express or like Unknown Callers that we wrote, it's a piss take. So like by framing it as we're taking the piss. We love thrash metal. Let's write a generic as fuck thrash metal song and take the piss and the lyrics don't mean anything. That's when we're really collaborating and firing on all cylinders. And there was 4 of us working on Death Express. And it was bouncing great ideas. And if only we weren't too fucking up our own arse to, to have to frame it that way. So because when you listen to Metallica lyrics, they're just as dog shit as ours.
Of course.
But that's not me saying we're as good as Metallica.
No, what you're saying is like they are the most.
All we were doing was generic thrash metal.
Yeah.
And we could only find the confidence to do that when we were kind of looking around going, we are taking the piss, guys. Remember, you were taking the piss here. Yeah, that's a good lyric. But remember, we're taking the piss, you know, and I wish we could get over that and actually treat it with some more respect.
I genuinely think if you guys could get that confidence of being able to say, no, we are trying to make an official non-parody type song of like, oh, we're taking the piss out of this genre, or there's this band, these are lyrics they fucking say. And instead it was like, no, let's sit down and fucking write this and we'll frame it as this is what we've actually put out. Because I think people, I hear every fucking other night when I'm here, you on fucking guitar. Sometimes back in the day when your drums were just in that corner.
I love playing the guitar.
And I'm like, Raz is in a fucking band. Jake fucking fiddles about with guitar sometimes. So for me, I always think it is mental to think you guys have always you self-put on a barrier of we will only do it as taking the piss because we can't take it. I
know. And you're right. And something else that frustrates me with it, and again, this is all on me, is like there's some stuff I get and some stuff I don't. And I'm terrible at maths. I'm terrible at numbers. The spreadsheet I've been working on for this video, I just can't get. I've had to be ringing Mary.
You're terrible at
booking things. Yeah, I'm terrible at booking things because numbers are involved.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. We just did a voiceover where I said so much.
We've got a return flight from Malta in like 3 weeks' time because I booked as a wrong return because that we can't use. Anyway, my point is there's some stuff I just can't get to grips with, and I've tried with like music on the software side because I've got enough hardware and instruments to be like a self-sufficient, like if I could program the drums, I can record the guitar and I can because I rely on Raz for all that. And Raz, I could never do it to Raz's level, but I can't even get a grips on a basic level and it's annoying. And
I did it a couple of years ago where, my brother Big Cam.
Yeah, legend, big up.
So he DJs sometimes. He's got all the kit, all the stuff. And I can remember when he said he was getting into it, I was like, you know what, I'd love to, because I just think it's easy to, if you can get, I know I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of people in certain, in the music scene or in certain, with certain venues that I could do like a little pop-up event and stuff like that. And I was like, I'd love just
that'd be great.
To do it. But the issue is I sat down and I watched, I must have watched maybe like 16 hours in the space of like 3-4 days of just like how to just produce on a computer, and then also maybe hook it up to a system so you can then go like, if you're not doing your own song, you can then just play other songs and mix them in properly.
How to DJ, yeah.
And I was just like, all right, if I can get one of these right, then I just have to focus on the other. And it was literally like having 2 darts in the dark and throwing them both of them missing. So I was there and I was trying to produce just a beat. And I was like, I've got some drums. I've sped that up. I've put this. I was like, I've put like a tag in and stuff. And I listened to it and I can hear where it's just not clicking. So I fiddle around again and then it sounds worse. And then I scrap it and do something. And I was just like, I'm just not getting it here. And then on the flip side, I can remember thinking, I'm just going to look at Big Cam's DJ stuff. I'm going to have a look online as well at like what does what. And I watch it and I go, all right, so that does that. And then when I'm selecting the next thing, match something with the same BPM, blah, blah, blah. And then when we were at Tomorrowland and we tried it, we had Zoe with us. And
she was.
I can remember trying it. And I've watched, keep in mind, watched about 16 hours of just dog shit.
Tough,
couldn't do it.
It's
and I'm just like, man, I really got newfound respect for the people that can. But I think it's such a shame because I'd love to just be able to like, not even as like me, I'd just make it like, I'd have a random.
It's just rewarding as well. Like it's rewarding. That's why I'm so glad I can play like the guitar and the drums.
Yeah, you're fortunate that you can play an instrument.
It's so rewarding, and I think if I had a good electric drum kit, and I'm not just trying to put like I need this gear to achieve this goal, but like I really would love, like, top of my list is a decent Roland electric drum kit, because then I don't need to learn how to program any good drums, because like that's the problem. So I from scratch, I did, this is nothing special, that's Rayton's parody song that's it's in Root.
It's the one that goes, that's right to buy everybody.
Yeah. And it's just some dumb indie shit, but I'd programmed the drums for that myself on a phone using GarageBand, and it took me fucking forever. I did it on the train down to Isle of Wight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's loads I'd love to do with the drums, but like, no frustrates me more knowing like I could sit behind a kit, shred it out in one, and make it exactly as I want, but I don't have the kit.
No.
So I have to fuck about doing it on an app.
I know, and it's terrible. Like, I do think you always miss the charm doing it when you're programming a drum kit, or you're going on to a computer and you're like, right, I could do this to the way I want, and I had a bit of flair, but instead I'm stuck locked to going this for this long stretch.
I just can't afford these good.
Hey, if you're someone out there who's got one.
The electric drum kit that I want is like the same price as like a decent used car, and it's just out of scope. Maybe I should have saved.
There we go. It's all coming back. Sign up.
There's another YouTube comment that I just wanted to run by. I've got really good. I'm still not perfect with it, but I've got really good at like giving people on the internet more leeway when they're wrong about something, because what I've realized is there's so much, especially after some recent happenings, there's so much of our life that like we don't publicize.
No, absolutely.
So when we do let something out into the public, people can only make assumptions based on what they know.
Or what they've... So annoyingly, we have...
Well, an example of like something that was, and this person didn't mean anything by this, but like an example of like how wrong things can be when someone's looked at what we've shown them and then come to a conclusion, which is only natural, and I'm not dissing anyone for this, but was about you at Burning Man.
I literally was about to say the bike thing.
Someone on online, was it on YouTube?
Reddit and
Reddit,
YouTube. There was
like Choc's
not
enjoying it,
because
but like
the bikes.
Standing next to you for more than most of that weekend, seeing how good of a time you had, and it really helped me reframe about how like don't be
harsh on yourself.
No, don't be harsh on myself, but also like someone's got that so wrong based on what they're looking at. That when someone does say something that might maybe get to you, like just remember, like all these people are going off is what you've shown them,
on their own
and they
opinion.
don't know the full picture, and they don't necessarily need to.
No.
But it just takes some weight off some of the stuff, and I don't really look at it. The only thing I look at is the YouTube comments, to be honest, from our audience, and I appreciate them and I look at them on both channels. But the reason I'm talking about YouTube comments again is because we got one the other day. And I had to just like take a step back and be like, just, whatever. Because it didn't mean any harm, but it just kind of personally irked me a little bit. It was, come on, guys. I'm paraphrasing. It was like, come on, guys, no upload for 3 weeks. Really enjoying that Burning Man ad revenue. And this person I'm sure they said it
as a joke.
The general rule is apply a playful tone of voice that I do in my head. I was like, oh, man. And I commented back with love. And I was like, this isn't a commentary channel.
No.
We can't just sit down and release.
No. And
our content is incredibly taxing. And
do you know what's frustrating about it all is that you look at any other content creator, and unless they've got a certain pattern of how they release a video, a lot of them won't release for fucking months. And no one, and I mean this, no one bats an eyelid. There's some of my favorite content creators, they'll release every fucking
with us, it's because we've set that expectation.
But the thing is, like, people, if you are that bothered, and I mean this in the nicest way, if you're that bothered that a video hasn't come out for 3 weeks, you should be that much of a fan to know that we've done so much every week. Point, yeah. We sometimes need a bit of a break, and sometimes everyone's lives need a bit of a pause to go, right, I'm going to go and do all the shit that I'm not. And like a classic thing is you're able to go out and see your mates. I am. And then we're going to go see fucking Blossoms. Now, if this was still festival season and there was something on this weekend, there was a high probability we would be going, oh yeah, we're off to this festival.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know? And that's I love that life, but it is the life.
And the other thing is, like, Rob's right. When we whatever we show is what we've chose to show. It's not the full story, and like no one knows everyone's life. No one. A classic example of this is minus the bike thing, because that was what I was going to talk about before. Where I was at Burning Man, I'm shit on a bike. Right, Dan got me these stabilizers. Bless him. I rode them. I must have been on my bike in total for about 2 hours over the course of the full thing. It was like hurt my ass. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna walking because it was flat with music in my pocket.
You loved it, man.
Looking around, I was buzzing, and I watched the Burning Man thing, and I was like, okay, it's not fully shown on both the videos, but I was having a great time. The guys know I was having a great time, and then even watching the preview for the new video for when we're in the RV, I was like,
the destination.
Yeah, I was like, I know I had a great time, and I watched it, and I went, okay, it doesn't translate all the time, but I was like, the guys and me know I had a great time, but I know for a fact I burped. That's
disgusting.
Someone's gonna take that and go like, oh, what's going on with Choc, or something's going on, or oh, he doesn't like it, or some shit. And all I have to say is like, unless you personally know us, you can just have that thought. You can come up with your own little fandom, your little fanfics, but we unless we deliberately say how we're feeling, you're not ever going to know. And we've had, without getting too deep, we've had a lot of that recently where people have just kind of like looked at everything under a microscope and just presumed stuff. And they don't know.
There is a lot of presumption.
Yeah, and it's like...
We're certainly not immune to... criticism, like we should be criticized, and especially constructive criticism, like definitely helps. Yeah. But there is a hell of a lot. The first thing to say is everything is great with everyone.
Absolutely. The issue
like
is
that is the headline, and obviously you think, oh, he's going to say that, but truly it is like everyone's tight as fuck. It feels like we're tighter than we've ever been as an operation. But just when people just connect dots that aren't, and I'm bad for doing this in my personal life.
The other issue is they gaslight other people into it though.
Yeah.
So it's like someone will go, my head canons this. Someone goes, oh, that kind of makes a bit of sense.
Yeah.
Now it's mine, and I'm going to tell someone else or add to it. And then it just snowballs into this. And you get to a point where it's like, in the end, guys, there's 3 things you have to remember. We're all a group of fucking best friends, brothers, if you would, that spend 90% of our lives together. There's going to be times where some things are going to look in a certain way. There's going to be sometimes it looks like we're all having the time of our life. You will never fully know the scope of it because you're not with us. You're not there with us. You don't know us personally that well. So you're never going to know. What you do need to know is we're fine. And if there's ever any big issues, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to tell, and we will not deny it or anything like that. However, people are always going to mold whatever we do. We went to like EDC, and people were happy we went. We had like fun. In the end, the festival wasn't for us.
Nah.
But we thought the community and everything was great. People took it as that we hated everyone who was there. We hated everything, and we didn't give the music a chance. And I went, I'm sorry, if you go back and watch like Tomorrowland, we went to a festival with similar music, with similar people, and we had a great time. You can't...
What was I criticized for recently? And I'm not saying don't criticize. Like, it's just funny to be in the position where you've got people talking about you. But what was I criticized for? Oh, it was for... Someone sent me a screenshot of a comment, and no hate towards this person, whoever it was, but it was like, it was saying like how I might get this wrong, but it was like, I'm so basic because I listen to like Muse and my favorite games, Grand Theft Auto. like try and branch out and try new things, and it's like, I mean, that's a fair point. Like, I do love Grand Theft Auto, and I do love Muse, and both of those things are popular, and they're popular because they're good. And but I see your point, but then also like there's so much that you don't know about me, that like you don't know that like probably my favorite game of all time is a JRPG that was exclusive to the Saturn for a bit, and then was released on PlayStation. And like you've never fucking heard of this game. Do you know what I mean? And the reason you've not heard me talk about stuff like that is because
you don't actively go out.
It's less relatable as well. Like it's not gonna come up.
Yeah,
you know,
people who know me personally know I've watched.
Guess what? I absolutely love the fucking Black Dahlia murder.
Yeah.
I'm gutted that I can't go to the Dream Theater show on the 20th, 25th, 20th. You know, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that's super like out there, but there's a lot of stuff that just don't make the cut.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, there's a lot of our personal lives. We don't actively go out of the way to go, let's just share this on camera. There's things like people who know me know that I love to play my games. I love to watch movies. I love fucking anime, and I also
love fucking anime.
I love fucking anime. You heard it?
Damn, we got it.
I'm out. We got him. But like, I also go twice a week with one of my old uni friends to play a One Piece card game. Normally, when it's not festival
we
season.
Should do a episode where.
We just.
In fact, this can be built into Ben's interview series that he's wanting to do. That we're kind of loosely working on together. Where it's like a get to know each person, and he's going to like interview all of us, but try and make the questions not difficult, because obviously we would have final cut, but so it just seems fake, but you know, interesting. And that should be a thing. Like bring like 5 things that no one knows about you, or at least from the outside thing. Do you know what? We're running up to an hour. We're trying to keep these concise. If you would abide me, I've got 2 stories.
Yeah.
And I'll tell one of them if you would be so kind. Yeah, you can't go,
I've got
listen.
2 stories, I'll tell you. You're going to tell the other one on the next one.
Yeah, because I'm doing a podcast straight after this with Ben, or soon after. And I'll tell you the headline, and you can choose the story, right? Okay. So, first story, today's 15 years since the first time I ever had my heart broken, to the day.
All right.
Second story, update on my lost iPhone.
Oh, now Ben loves this tech.
Yeah.
So I will leave him with the iPhone. We had a brief insight into your iPhone thing in the group chat. Well, I didn't know the story. But 15 years to Heartbreak. Go on, Rob Keller's special.
Yeah, so 15 years ago today was, and I only remember this, I'm not like dreading this day.
You've got it in calendar.
It was on my Facebook memories. And I'll tell the story with brevity. First girlfriend, remain nameless. No disrespect to her in the wild scenario where this might cross her path. We were young and and whatever. And she was my first girlfriend. You know, we did stuff together for the first time. I'm talking about the shagging. And my first love. And I know, sorry. And you know, we got together when we were like 16, and we were probably like together until I was 18, 14 years ago. Was it 14 years ago? Maybe 13 years ago.
God, I don't know, man. You're old.
Anyway, the anniversary of it was today, according to Facebook.
Yeah.
Moved to separate unis. We're like, how's this going to go? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm hopeful. Obviously, I'm like super, like, I really want this to work, blah, blah, blah. Like, super fucking boring. I'm about to go to uni, man. I should be living it up. Anyway, you know, I was really serious, and we'd been together for a while. And we, you know, there might have been, it might have not been that good of a relationship. We might have argued quite a bit, but you know, we're firmly still in a relationship. Yeah. And she's like, right, we're going to go to uni. She's going to go to unnamed university. I'm going to go to Manchester. And then a month in, when we're settled, she's going to come and stay with me for the weekend. Like,
yeah,
great.
For a weekend, and then maybe in the future you'll go to...
Yeah, you know, just we'll set up what the relationship looks like from there.
And at that same time, is that when you met a certain Saying Chris Paulton.
That is when I met Chris Paulton. Not to do with this story, but we love you, Chris. So, you know, I'm at uni. We're texting every day, you know, me and the missus. So, you know, we're literally in a relationship doing what you do in a relationship at 18.
How you doing, Snuggle Bunny? Yeah, I'm all right, Cookie Bear.
Maybe not like that, but, you know.
Sorry, you'd be worse. You'd do emojis like...
Emojis weren't a thing back then, brother.
It'd be like just the dot and the three. The
emoticon.
Cute, yeah.
Anyway, so fast forward a month and she comes down and I go and meet her off the train at Oxford Road train station in Manchester. This is why Oxford Road has a place in my heart that you might have heard me talk about. And, you know, she's here for the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, returning on Sunday evening, and we do whatever 18-year-olds do in the daytime, walking around Manchester, whatever, and then we get back to mine, and my hall's in my single bed, and we're both in bed, and, you know, we're dressed for bed, like, just underwear on. And she says to me, you know, we've got a lot to catch up on, and one of her questions to me was, have you started seeing anyone?
Oh.
So I was like, no. This is on the Friday. And she's like, I have. And my entire world just shattered and crashed down.
So she presumed that you would...
I didn't know. I mean, it just wasn't communicated to me. Or
I mean,
if it was,
sound
I didn't
if it's
listen.
like, I'm going to come down.
And do you know what, mate? So at that point, I knew, like, she's not my girlfriend anymore.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastated. Like, I'm so confused. She's in bed with me.
So she just come round.
And do you know what the worst thing was, mate? I had to spend the rest of the weekend with her. I was crushed. I couldn't eat. Dave and Chris from uni.
See, just tying the story.
Don't know that how important they will have been to me at this time, but it will have been them that got me through this. It's just a heartbreak story, right? Everyone's been through one. But yeah, that was the anniversary of that. And then didn't eat anything all weekend, miserable as fuck, like literally gutted, heartbroken, literally. And then saw her off on the train at Oxford Road.
God,
I don't
know how you did it.
I didn't have a choice.
I would have just been like, yeah, fuck off.
I mean, now, obviously, I would, and that's been my attitude for most of my adult life, and for better or worse. And sat on a bench, watched the train pull away like it was some fucking movie.
Forrest Gump
and sat on that bench at Oxford Road for like 2.5 hours, just staring into the abyss. And
your life's over.
And I love Oxford Road for it. And at that time, I had my iPhone 4 and I took it out and I was like, this is a time in my life where I'm the lowest I'll ever be. Not true, but
yeah, at the time. Oh, thanks. Your dad was going, thanks.
And my dad was there.
No,
not with me, but he wasn't dead at that point. And I took a shot of Oxford Road train station, and I took a shot of a train going past.
And you uploaded
not her train,
yeah, but
a train. One. And I've still got that clip, and I've used it sparingly in modern content, just because it's an important part of my story.
Yeah.
And that was 13 years ago today.
That is, you know what? I was going to say it's a nice story. It's not. It's fucking heartbreaking. But that is mental, like, without getting too deep. Crazy. Hey, yeah, we're going to stay together, texting every day. Nothing.
Well, do you know what? I'm not trying to put anyone on blast here. And I rebounded from her with another girl that I was with for a year. Yeah. And I was never really into her. I was just in denial. I would ask my friends, do you think she looks better than X? Is she funnier? That, you know, I wanted to believe myself that, like, this was an upgrade for me, and it simply wasn't in my eyes, and that lasted for about 1.5 years. But then I ended up getting back with this first girl, and but on the lead up to getting back with her, when we were in like the preliminary stages of like re-dating. I'd finished work and come to meet her for some drinks, still in my work gear. You know, I'd just come straight from the door-to-door sales job, 2013 this was. So I'm an adult at this point, you know. And we went for some drinks in the Yates's, then we went for some drinks somewhere on Call Lane. And when we're out, this guy starts chatting to us. And obviously I'm disinterested in chatting to some fucking dude.
Yeah,
and he's just chatting to us and chatting at us and chatting at her. And I was like, I'm going to take off.
Yeah, I'm going to dip.
Blah, blah, blah. Thinking like she's going to roll with.
Yeah.
And she's like, cool, I'll just hang about. Anyway, text her the next day and she's like, I'm probably going to see that guy again. And actually, now I'm saying it out loud, I think maybe I should have been a bit fucking ruder.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, all I'm hearing is, man, you were like, I don't know, you had your tinfoil hat of like, just like, you just couldn't see. You had your blinders on.
And you know what? That and another bad breakup has probably subconsciously led
the monster
to
you are now.
Well, do you know what, mate? I'm pleased to say that and I got over this girl a long time ago, but my experience in relationships, positive, negative, and in between, have always led me to like not open up and not let people in. And I'm finally back at the stage now at 32 where
you're ready for that.
I am, and I've proven to myself it over the last. Yeah. You know, people don't need to know my personal details. But I'm very happy at the minute, and
good.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get too deep. I just thought that two stories, fun or the heartbreak.
Do you know what? I'll give you a brief one.
All right.
Before we leave, I'll return the favor.
All right.
Because it's not the anniversary, but it is. I think now. Oh, it's coming up to about 8 years. 8 years since I split with my ex, who I have my daughter with.
Right.
Now, as a man who is I was a young parent, and I was in uni when we split. I thought like life is over. It's one of those where you go, I think I was going to be with this person forever. I think, nothing's ever going to be the same. I'm never going to care for someone. And I'm pleased to say, I've been in a committed relationship now for 7 years where I am happy and I'm with someone, and, all the things I worried about was bollocks. What was funny is going back to when you were saying how, important those friends were in uni during that time. I remember I was on a break with said ex, and I'd kind of pussyfooted around the situation for a month. I was like, I can't commit to making a decision yet. A month has gone by. I am currently living at theirs on their sofa, not having to pay rent, but just doing food shop, driving them and paying towards some bills and shit. I was like, this is kind of ideal. I don't have to address this. And then one day I get a text like, it's been a month. What the fuck are you doing? And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I had the 3 people I was living with join me in the kitchen, and I said my piece. I said, this is what I've been texted. I still don't know how to feel. I don't know how to react. And it was almost like if you had a question for yourself, if you could split yourself into 3. So I had one friend give me like, I think personally this, and this. I had another friend who was like, I'm the opposite of that. I think this. And then someone who was the fence sitter.
Yeah.
And I can remember like still not understanding, right? I typed out a whole paragraph of one answer, deleted it, typed up the next one, deleted it. I'm like, God, I just can't decide. Anyway, time goes by, and I think I just replied with something like, I still need more time. Cliche.
The Van McCann lyric.
It was just very much, without getting into details, it was very much like from that point, the conversation became like it was pretty much over, right? I was like heartbroken, gutted. I was like, I don't know if this has been a good decision or not, or like I'm an idiot. Proper doubt. And they just went for whatever. I don't think they would ever realize how much this meant, because if I just stayed in that mindset that night, I could have done X, Y, and Z. Life could have been completely different. So like, fuck that. We're going to take you out and we're going to make, you're going to forget all about tonight. They took me out and got me hammered. I'm like talking like, there's
legend.
There's different levels of like getting hammered. There's the, I'm drunk. There's, I'm a bit blackout. And then there's like, you just have no control. And I can remember I had bought a new shirt, and they said, put that new shirt on. Yeah. You're going to get out there. Yeah, and one of them was going like, you're going to go out and pull. And I was like, man, I've been out game for fucking time. Yeah. Like, I'm not. And they're like, nah, freshen up. We're out.
You Taro Dale there, ain't you?
All I remember is I went to Corp, came out of Corp. I'm hammered. I've got my shirt off. I'm like shadow boxing. My mates filmed it all. I don't know if all these clips are still on his Instagram, but he used to put them all up. And then we went somewhere else. And then all I remember is like I blinked. I'm in a taxi. I'm in a taxi with 2 of said 3 who have taken me out. And they're like just talking to me. They're drunk. And as they're talking to me, I'm like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Start thinking, oh, yeah, it's because I've just split up with my partner. Started getting really upset.
Oh, yeah, because you remember, don't you?
Yeah. So then it hits me like a rock. So I'm really upset. And I also realized I'm so hammered, I just started pissing myself. So I'm on the floor of the taxi, looking up, feeling really sad about the fact I just split up with my partner who I have my daughter with. And I just started pissing myself because that's how hammered I was, that I had no control. I'd come to, and all I could do is go, wow. And not too long ago, Facebook Memories came up with a picture for that.
Of the pissy pants.
And it was just the end of September. I think it was start of October. So it's just come up. And I was just like, oh, nice memory.
There we go,
But, I think going back to you as well, it's like that was like a change where I was like, wow, this is like completely different. And look at us now. We're on the same sofas.
Hey, do you know what?
Doing this. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
And we wouldn't have those last few lovely anecdotes.
That's it.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Rob and Chuck's Heartbreak Hour.
That's it.
It's been a real kind of diverse conversation. I've enjoyed it, and I'm desperate for a piss because I've started drinking tea again because it's cold.
I've finished my buzz ball.
Yeah, out of 10?
Nice. That one's like a 7.
Okay, that's pretty respectable.
But I'll let you have your
Thanks for coming today, mate, and dedicating one of your days in the off season to help us.
I'm hanging with the homie.
I know, that's the blessing in it. It never feels like work, but
and we've got Friday. We got Friday as well.
That's right. Also, I'm going to need those reports from you by Friday about the analytics of the Malta video.
Get
them on my desk by Friday. Right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chuck. Lots of love, everyone out there. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.